Can you imagine waking up and realizing half your Social Security check is gone, just vanished without warning? That nightmare is about to become real for thousands of people in just a few days. But if you stay with me through this video, you're going to learn exactly how to protect your benefits, how inflation and government decisions are about to reshape Social Security payments, and how a memo quietly circulated months ago is about to impact millions of lives. There's a lot at stake, and those who know what's coming will be the ones who avoid the financial fallout. If you rely on Social Security, whether it's retirement, SSDI, SSI, spousal, survivors, this video is made for you. I'm talking directly to those of you who depend on these monthly benefits to keep the lights on, the fridge stocked, and your health covered. Whether you're already receiving benefits or just trying to plan ahead, you need to know what's changing, when it's happening, and what you can do to protect yourself. Because this isn't speculation. It's based on official data, confirmed memos, and federal policy timelines. You're going to want to watch this entire video because I'm going to explain what's happening with the emergency garnishment adjustment that's going into effect in just a few days, how the latest inflation trends will directly determine your future benefit increases, and what most people completely misunderstand about overpayments and benefit reductions. This is one of those videos that can either save you hundreds or leave you scrambling later if you ignore it. Before I dive into all the details, take a second to tap that like button and share this with someone else who might be caught off guard by these changes. This type of information is rarely covered in the mainstream, and yet it affects millions of us in real life. Let's start with what's happening right now with inflation. Tomorrow morning, the next Consumer Price Index report will be released. This is the inflation data for the month of June. While this specific report won't directly count toward next year's Social Security cost of living adjustment, it's still incredibly important. Why? Because it will show us the current trend. If we see a spike in this report, we can reasonably expect the next three reports, July, August, and September, the ones that actually determine the next COLA increase, to be higher as well. Inflation is heating back up, and one of the biggest drivers right now is tariffs. Over the last couple of weeks, the president has announced new tariffs on imports from countries like Mexico, the European Union, and potentially Russia. That means prices for goods we use every day, groceries, medical supplies, clothing, transportation, are going up. The White House can claim these are taxes on corporations or foreign producers, but we all know who pays in the end: the consumers, United States. And these price hikes will inevitably be reflected in future inflation reports. The Federal Reserve knows this too, which is why they've kept interest rates high. They're preparing for another round of rising inflation in the second half of the year. That's why tomorrow's report matters. It's like a forecast. If we start to see inflation ticking upward now, we can assume the trend will continue, and that could mean a higher COLA increase for next year. If prices go up, Social Security benefits usually follow eventually. But the key is staying informed about when and how those adjustments get calculated. Now let's talk about something that's even more urgent. 10 days from now, Social Security is going to start cutting benefit payments by 50% for a specific group of people. This is related to overpayment recovery, something that's been mishandled for years. From 2015 to 2022, Social Security overpaid beneficiaries a total of $72 billion. dollars. And now they want that money back. They don't just send polite letters asking you to return the money. No, they come after you. They garnish your Social Security checks, intercept your tax refunds, and in some cases, they'll even go after your wages. It's brutal, and it's about to get worse. Here's what's happening. Back in March of this year, Social Security reinstated full 100% garnishments for some overpaid beneficiaries. That meant your entire check could be taken back to recover overpayments. Then in late April, they issued an internal emergency memo reducing that garnishment to 50%. But it came with a catch. Anyone who received an overpayment notice on or after April 25th had 90 days to either appeal, request a reduction, or repay the debt. If they didn't do that, the 50% garnishment kicks in automatically. That 90-day window ends on July 24th. So, in 10 days, that reduction becomes real. For those who've taken no action, their next payment could be slashed in half. Imagine trying to survive on just 50% of your normal Social Security check. That's devastating. And the cruel part? Many people don't even know this is about to happen. They either missed the notice, didn't understand it, or thought they had more time. Now, to be clear, this won't affect everyone. Only those who were notified of an overpayment on or after April 25th and haven't responded are at risk of the 50% cut. If you were notified before March 27th, you're still locked in at a 10% garnishment rate. That's still tough, but far more manageable. And for SSI recipients, this is very important. You're protected. SSI recipients are locked into a 10% garnishment cap regardless of when they were notified. But that protection does not apply to SSDI, retirement, survivors, or spousal benefits. This is one of the most confusing areas in Social Security, so let me break it down simply. If you received a letter about an overpayment before March 27th, you're at 10%. If you got that letter after April 25th and you've done nothing, you're about to see 50% taken out of your check. And if you're on SSI, you're protected at 10% regardless. But for everyone else, especially SSDI and retirement beneficiaries, you need to take this seriously. Now let's talk about the emotional toll. These aren't just policy changes. These are life-altering disruptions. I recently talked about a woman named Ruth. Her husband passed away, and months later, Social Security claimed they had overpaid his benefits. Ruth had no idea this happened, but now they're clawing back the money from her aggressively. It's heartbreaking. These are the stories we don't hear about often, but they're happening all over the country. People who've worked hard, paid into the system, now being crushed by the very agency meant to protect them. Why is this happening now? Simple. Social Security is underfunded and scrambling. Overpayments weren't properly tracked or managed, and now the agency is using harsh tactics to fix their mistakes. And unfortunately, those who are the most vulnerable are often the easiest targets. Looking forward, the inflation trend could go two ways. If tariffs continue to raise prices, COLA increases may be higher in 2026. But that doesn't help those getting garnished right now. The emergency adjustment is coming fast, and for some, it means serious hardship. But knowing what's happening gives you a chance to act, whether that's filing an appeal, calling Social Security to negotiate, or reaching out to advocacy organizations for help. So here's what you need to take away from all of this. Inflation is rising again, and the next few months of data will determine next year's Social Security increase. Meanwhile, a silent emergency memo is about to kick in, cutting benefits in half for people who received overpayment notices after April 25th and didn't respond. If you're one of them, or know someone who is, do something now. Time is running out. One more thing I want to leave you with. Don't underestimate the power of awareness. Most people miss these changes not because they're lazy or careless, but because they simply weren't told. The Social Security Administration doesn't exactly make this stuff easy to understand. They bury details in long, confusing letters. They don't make follow up calls. They assume everyone reads between the lines. But you and I both know missing just one small detail could cost you hundreds, even thousands. That's why staying plugged in, checking updates, reading comments, and watching videos like this is so important. The more you know, the more you can protect yourself. Even if none of this applies to you right now, it could next month or next year. And if it does, you'll be ready. That's what this community is all about: being proactive, helping each other, and making sure no one gets left behind or blindsided. Now's the time to double check your mail from Social Security, reach out for help if needed, and stay ahead of these changes before they hit. These aren't just headlines. These are policies that impact what ends up in your bank account next month. Don't be caught off guard. If you found this helpful, leave a comment and share your experience. Have you received a garnishment notice? Did you appeal? Let's help each other out. And if you haven't already, contact the free Medicare Assistance Hotline. Thousands are saving real money on better coverage, and it doesn't cost anything to check. Use the word chapter in your comment so I know you saw this video, and I might give you a shout out in the next one. Thanks for watching, take care of yourself, and I'll see you again very soon.